Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. Today's reading is titled, What Makes You Internally Beautiful? And I tend to see a lot of readings that focus on our physicality, meaning like what makes us physically beautiful, makes us physically attractive, such as our bodies or some type of feature on our face or our hair or our tats or our piercings. But I wanted to focus on something a little bit more intricate, such as our insides. And I wanted to focus on that specifically because your insides do make you beautiful. Like what's on the inside is going to reflect on the outside. So when you see somebody who's just very, very beautiful, very rich in spirit. So for a great example of this is Janae Aiko. Very beautiful on the inside. So she's very beautiful on the outside. Okay. So I'm just one of those people who I don't really believe that beauty stems from our physicality. Like it can be an aspect of beauty, but for me, beauty is more what's on the inside of you, your soul, your spirit. That's the beauty that I look for in others. And I hope that you all learn to look for that in yourselves as well. So we have two piles here today. And like I always say, you are welcome to pick more than one. Just please select with your intuition and take the messages that resonate with you. Okay. If something doesn't resonate, don't force it to resonate. Don't overthink about it. Just let your intuition confirm to you what's for you and what's not for you. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to give you all a second to pick and then we're going to get started. All righty, we're gonna go ahead and get started with pile number one. Okay, so pile number one, what makes you beautiful here? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read these, and you're gonna know if these resonate or not. But like I said before, just take the messages that are for you. So pile number one, what makes you internally beautiful here is your ability to tap into your inner child. Your ability to rise, even when other people have tried so hard to bring you down, your ability to speak sweetness into the lives of those around you, your ability to soothe your shadow and manage your negative thoughts and emotions, and your ability to heal. So, power number one, those are the things that make you internally beautiful, okay? Let's look at the cards and get some more information. So, the first card that we have for you, power number one, was the Nine of Swords here. So, what makes you beautiful is your ability to soothe your shadows. So, you're somebody who's going to befriend your shadow instead of being angry at it, instead of shaming it or judging it. You're calling in your shadow so that you understand different dimensions of yourself. Because whether or not we like it, we all have a shadow. We are not just all light because light cannot exist without the shadow. Light cannot exist without darkness. Therefore, we're all dual beings. We have these different aspects of ourselves, but some people want to operate on one instead of finding that equilibrium. So, how number one, what makes you internally beautiful is your ability to self soothe. And you're so good at it to the point where you help other people self soothe. You help other people, like you empower other people, power number one, to get more in tune with their emotions. And instead of fighting them, instead of identifying with them, instead of judging them, you teach people how to understand them better, how to have compassion for their shadow side, and to heal those different wounds that the shadow is bringing up, right? So you know how to do that, and that is what makes you internally beautiful because you do it for yourself. Like you alchemize that negative energy and you turn it into a learning experience. So you do a lot of shadow work, power number one, and I feel like you do it sometimes without even realizing it. Like you may get triggered by something someone does or says, and you tend to go inward and you ask yourself, like, what is it about this situation that's triggering? Because you kind of do some math with it, okay? And I'm saying math metaphorically. I'm not actually saying like you're getting out a pen and paper and a calculator, okay? I'm just saying you're finding the answer to the equation. Okay? I'm trying to be a little bit poetic with this, but you get what I'm saying, kind of one. Like you know who to subtract from the equation. So you subtract the person from the equation. The equation is the trigger. So you know that the trigger is, it's not about the person. It's about something that's already within me. So let me cancel out the X and the Y, okay? Times that times eight. And get the message, right? Get the message, because your triggers are messengers. Like, just like your emotions are messengers, your triggers are letting you know, like, this is bothering me. So, for example, let me give you an example, pattern one. Let's say you get triggered by people who are rude, right? Let's say you're somebody who is just, you're a people person, whether you're an introvert or not, because I'm an introvert. But you may be somebody that is just very like compassionate to people, and it may trigger you when people don't hold the door open for you, when they don't say thank you. And you have to ask yourself, like, it's not the person, but what is it about that situation, about that interaction, that was triggering? Was it because I didn't feel acknowledged? Was it because I felt rejected? Was it because I felt ignored? And then once you get to those questions, you can get to, okay, when was the first time I felt like this? Or when did I feel like this in my life? And you're going to notice that it's going to be in your childhood. So you're going to be able to match up those experiences and those feelings with something that happened in your childhood. Even if you don't remember it exactly, like verbatim, you may not be able to remember it verbatim or even talk about it verbatim, but you can still know that feeling, okay? You can still remember when you felt something, okay? And you're able to be analytical. That's also what makes you internally beautiful. Part number one is your ability to analyze situations and to analyze your feelings so that you know what that actually meant. Like, part number one, you're really good at like decoding things. So like you decode your emotions a lot, like you decode your triggers, and that's how you figure out the root cause of it. And even if you don't get to the root, you get to like one part of it that leads you to the root of it. Okay. So yeah, you're really good at working with your shadow, understanding your emotions, and you're really good at validating yourself here, okay? That's what makes you internally beautiful. The next card that we have is the High Priestess. So you're very tapped in, pile number one. You're very tapped in. You're very tapped into your higher self, your shadow, your ego. Like, you've learned to love those parts of yourselves. A lot of times when people become spiritual or they get into the spiritual community, they're like, oh, I'm all light, love and light, no negativity. But we all have that shadow. We all have an ego. Like, I used to talk about ego death, but as I've grown, I've realized that you can't destroy your ego. It's a part of you. You need that there. But you can learn to take away certain aspects. That's the word we're going to use today, aspects, because I keep saying it. But you're going to take away certain aspects of your ego. Like, for example, you could take away an aspect of your ego where you constantly tell yourself that, okay, if somebody treats me like this, it's about me. So you could eliminate storytelling from your ego, because you need your ego. Your ego represents your confidence, your vitality. Okay. You need that. It's not always a bad thing. You just have to learn how to utilize your ego and the characteristics of your ego. Okay. So yeah, you're very tapped in and you're very connected, like mind, body, and soul. You're very connected, and it helps you to connect with other people on that level. So, path number one, you would be very good in like a healing type of field. And I know I'm speaking as if you're spiritual, so you may not be spiritual, path number one. These may be gifts that you don't even know you have here. You could be religious and still have these gifts. You don't have to use them how spiritualists use their gifts, but you still use them, okay? With the high priestess, it's like you can pick up on what bothers people and you say the words that they need to hear. You say exactly what people need to hear. Like, you have this ability to speak sweetness into the lives of those around you. Like, you could literally change somebody's current situation, pound number one, by just saying something about it. So you know how there's people that do spells to like curse people? I feel like you bless people. You may even do candle magic. You may be a spiritualist here, okay? Take what resonates, because some of you, this may not apply. For others of you, it may. So again, take what resonates. But it's like, if you do some type of root work or magic work, you know how to bring blessings into the lives of other people. And whatever you bring, it tends to overflow for that person. Like, you have an abundance of energy, okay? You have an abundance of goodness that you want to give to other people, and that's what makes you internally beautiful. You're able to tune into how people feel. You're able to say what they need. You're able to say what they need to hear. I feel like you're able to give people the clarity that they've been wanting. Like it could be for years. And they may have been told like a similar message, but it's like when you say it, pal number one, it just sticks. And when you say it, it's like everything changes. It's like the clock changes from going counterclockwise to going clockwise. Like you bring a lot of order into people's lives as well, okay? You bless people just by being around them, just by speaking on them in a positive way, you bless people. So when you say things like, I hope so and so gets this, they get it. You know, you use that gift for the right reasons, and that's what makes you internally beautiful. And that's why you're so blessed, pound number one, whether you know it or not, whether you are judging your current situation or not, you are very blessed. And blessings don't always have to do with finances. I think people get so caught up in that because we live in such a capitalist society that people think about consumerism in terms of blessings, but blessings can be having a good heart. Like a blessing is learning how to alchemize negative thoughts. That's a blessing. So you have a lot of blessings, pal number one, because you bless other people. Okay. The next card that we have is the strength. So I feel like because you have such a gentle aura, pal number one. You may have had a lot of people try you, try to test you, not knowing that you have that gangster side. You got that Kali mind energy, okay? You got that energy, but you don't bring that out because you know that what's the point of letting somebody get me worked up when I can work on my trigger? What's the point of letting somebody try to bait me, and try to start an argument with me when I could just analyze that person and understand that it doesn't have anything to do with me. So you have a lot of different ways that, you have built your strength. And a lot of it is mental. You have a lot of mental strength, pal number one. I feel like that's why people in the past have tried to come for you or have tried to betray you or just sneak dish you or do little petty shit, but it never worked out because you were always 10 steps ahead of the game. You knew what people's motives were. You got the high priestess. You know shit that people don't think you know because of that innocent nature that you may have, whether you're male, female, or non-binary here. You just have that, you have this energy where people underestimate you. And that's not a bad thing, pal number one. I used to think it was a bad thing, but it's actually a gift because people don't know, what you're gonna do because they underestimate you. So you shock them. You shock them. And you leave a lot of people flabbergasted. Number one, just because of the strength that you have. Like a lot of people think strength is physical strength, and that is a part of strength. But when you have mental strength, when you have emotional strength, spiritual strength, like that's on a whole different level. And it helps you to, have a better life when you're not allowing things to get to your mental. So you have a lot of mental strength here. You could be a Leo, okay? Take what resonates. You could be a fire sign here. You could be an air sign as well, water sign. I'm pretty much getting all the elements, so take what resonates, okay? So let's get to some more of your cards, pile number one. Let's see what makes you internally beautiful. So you have the Virgo card here. So you could be an introvert here. So the way you take time for yourself, that's what makes you internally beautiful because it's like you remind me of like a plant. Pile number one, like you grow and grow. The more that you spend time alone, watering and nurturing yourself and giving yourself the right amounts of sunlight, literally, you grow, okay? And you don't have to be an introvert. You could be a mix and be like I think it's called an ambivert, a person that's an introvert and an extrovert. You could be that. Or you could be like me where I'm introverted around certain people because of their energy. But either way, you have a healing energy. You have a healing essence to you. You heal people without even realizing it. Your touch is healing. Your words are healing. Your advice is healing. Your love is healing. You are healing. You just naturally have that energy. And I feel like because you have a healing energy, you could just reflect back to people things they need to heal, or people may see certain characteristics in you and covet that because they haven't worked to gain those characteristics like you. So you may deal with a lot of jealousy and envy, pound number one, but it's the way that you alchemize it to where you learn lessons. And it's like these people, you see them more as teachers instead of as opponents, instead of as obstacles. The people that try to fuck with you, the people that try to get you off your path, or the people that just talk about you and basically shit on you. It's like you learn from them. You look at them as teachers, you look at them as lessons. Like you start looking at people as archetypes of a certain lesson. So let's say you dealing with somebody who gossips about you. You look at that as a lesson that no matter what I do, people are going to talk about me. So let me learn how to withstand it, right? Or you could have a lesson where somebody has betrayed you, right? And then you learn from that person, like, let me catch the red flags ahead of time so that this won't happen again. So you look at it like that. I feel like you take a lot of shit and learn from it, pile number one. It's like people will try to bring you problems, but don't even realize that those problems that they're bringing you are blessings in disguise because you're growing from it. You're learning from it, okay? So the next card we have is the Gemini. So yes, this is very much you, very analytical, okay? You know how to speak very well here. You speak sweetness into the lives of others. You manifest with the voice because Gemini represents communication. You manifest with the voice here. You may sing and manifest, take what resonates, but you may even be a poet here. But it's like the way you speak or the poetry you speak, it's like very healing. Okay. Your words have the ability to heal as well. Okay. Then the next card we have is Sagittarius. So you could be somebody who's spiritually inclined, whether you're religious or spiritual, or even if you're not and you're interested in it, take what resonates here. But you have some spiritual aspects to you, and that's what makes you beautiful. With this Sagittarius card, like you're free spirited, even if you may have a little bit of a conservative vibe, even if people think that, like you're still somebody who's free spirited here, okay? And with the Gemini and Sagittarius energy, that's opposition. So what I mean by that is like in your birth chart, if you have Sagittarius and Gemini, usually you were born on a full moon. So you could be a full moon baby here. But also, Gemini and Sagittarius are sister signs, so they're opposites. So I feel like you could be the student and the teacher. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that makes it make a whole lot more sense. It's not that your reading didn't make sense, pal number one, but it's like when I tap into certain cards, it's like the energy grows. It's like the energy is loading. Like I'll get a message and I'm like, okay, and then it loads up even more and I'm like, okay. If you're a reader, you know what I mean. But it's like with this Gemini Sagittarius energy, like you can be the teacher where you are teaching other people. Maybe you tell people certain things and that's teaching them, right? But you're also the student because you learn from your life experiences, you learn from your triggers and your emotions, and you learn from other people, okay? So that is what makes you internally beautiful here, okay? And also with Sagittarius, it represents that archer. So your ability to keep your eyes on the prize. It doesn't matter with this Gemini energy with people gossiping about you, it doesn't matter. You're still free spirited and you still speak the truth. Okay. With Sagittarius energy, you still speak the truth. Okay. All of these signs are mutable. Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius. The only mutable sign we're missing is Pisces. So you may be a Pisces here. Take what resonates. But it's like you're very phenomenal. Power number one. You are phenomenal. Okay. I feel like you need to hear that because I feel like you are so amazing. And you just have people that don't want to tell you that because they feel like certain people have this weird ideology that if I tell this person that they're great, if I compliment them, if I let them know the truth about who they are, then they're going to start acting cocky. They're going to start mistreating me. And that's not always the case, especially not with you, pal number one. I get that you're very humble here. Even if you do get like a lot of awards or achievements, like you still are humble. You still don't mistreat people because something good happened to you. Okay. But yeah, that is what makes you internally beautiful. Your free spirited energy. And you teach people like different philosophies as well. Like you teach people, so like you would really excel in like teaching philosophy or being a life coach. Like this is given life coach energy, spiritual teacher energy, spiritual advisor energy. You could even be like a witch doctor as well. Take what resonates here. Or some of you could actually be in the nursing field. You could be an RN, you could be a nurse, you could be a doctor here. Somebody is interested in the medical field as well. That's what I'm picking up. So take what resonates here, okay? You could also be into like holistic health, eating clean, plant-based, vegan food. You may like herbs here. You may work with herbs, but take what resonates, okay? That was some more messages I was picking up. So let's move on because we have some more cards. So let's see what else makes you internally beautiful. So we have get centered here. So your ability to ground yourself and to get centered, like if you were the type of person, pal number one, you know how to take a break. You know how to step away from a conversation when it's getting too heated or when the energy is just not feeling right. You are the type of person that'll go in the bathroom and then you're like, can you calm down? Like, and some people may look at that as like, you're doing too much, you're being dramatic, but no, you're getting centered. You're grounding yourself because you understand that everything does not require a response. Everything does not require you to get out of character or give your energy away. So you learn how to center yourself so that you can get back into yourself. Okay. And I did talk about Kali Ma. Look at that. So you may be into like Hinduism, chakras, the Hindu gods and goddesses, but take what resonates here, okay? That's what makes you internally beautiful as well. The way that you can be at peace and you help other people learn how to be at peace. You teach people that, okay? The next card we have is perseverance. So no matter the things you go through, pal number one, you're how do I say this? You blossom, we're gonna use my name. You blossom from these experiences, okay? You grow from them. That's why I kept getting that plant imagery. You grow from them literally, okay? Anything somebody throws at you, you're still able to succeed because you use it as fuel. That's why when people come at you, like I feel like pal number one, you've come so far on your journey. You've come so far to the point where if you have outside energy trying to influence you, it doesn't work. And it may hurt your feelings a little bit sometimes. Sometimes it may throw you off, but at the end of the day, you still know how to get centered and get back on track. You still keep going because you know that you're going to reach the other side. You know that you're going to reach the other side. And that's why you keep going. And that's what builds your strength. So you're no longer afraid of being triggered. You're no longer afraid of what the haters are going to say and do because you know how to alchemize that energy and use it for your highest good. The next card that we have is abundance. So you are a naturally abundant person. You may just have a lot of things. You may have a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes, a lot of money, a lot of food, a lot of good ideas, a lot of love, a lot of forgiveness, like a lot of good advice, a lot of creative ideas. Like abundance just means having a lot of something. Okay. So you have a lot. And you usually share this with other people. And that's what makes you internally beautiful because you don't have to share, but you still do it out of the kindness of your heart. Let's look at some more cards. So what makes my pile number ones beautiful? We have action. So the way that you take action on your goals, the way that you go for things like that's that Sagittarius energy. Once you point the the bow and arrow, like once you point it somewhere, once you have your target, you put it there and you're focused. Like you go for the things that other people would be scared to go for, pound number one. And in doing so, you teach. Like I feel like you lead by example here. If you are not interested in being like a spiritual teacher, a spiritualist, some of you may even be interested in being a preacher as well. But no matter your field, it's like you take action and you go for it even if other people are scared or if other people try to put seeds of doubt like it doesn't work. You go for it is you go for what it is you want, even if it's a person. You don't allow other people to scare you. And that's a great quality to have, because a lot of times people will have so many great ideas in life and they'll be held back by other people, or they'll want to go after the love of their life, but they won't go because of what other people have told them. So you're really good about not letting people get in your ear, pal number one, okay? But you taking action on your goals is very inspiring, and it's what makes you internally beautiful because you listen to your intuition, you listen to those intuitive nudges and spiritual downloads. The next card that we have is delight. So you just have this beautiful, calming, gentle energy. You're a delight to be around. You're delightful. Pile number one. Like you have that energy where you just help people to calm down. Like I'm hearing Janae Aiko's trigger mantra, the calm down. Like you have that energy where you just bring people to peace. Like you are the epitome of peace. And I feel like a lot of times people think peace is weak, but peace is strength. It takes a lot of strength to have peace in a world where there's filled with In a world that's filled with chaos, in a world that's filled with people who will intentionally target you, in a world that's filled with violence and war, like you're the peace, okay, and continue to be the peace. You're also a peacemaker here, and that's what makes you internally beautiful. Like you're able to help people settle conflict and disputes. You're able to help people repair their relationships here, okay, and that's what makes you internally beautiful. The next card we have is abundance. You see that? You see all these flowers? I told you. Like, let me show you. There's flowers here, okay? There's flowers on the Virgo card, flowers on the Gemini card. You see the flowers in the hair. You may even like to wear flower crowns here. Take what resonates. And you see the flowers down here. So yeah, you have a lot of flowers here representing growth. But look at this. You have the abundance card twice. So you are very abundant. And even if you don't feel like that, just start to recognize the things that you have a lot of in your life. And you're going to realize, like, wow, I actually am abundant. And having that realization will make you thankful for being abundant, thus increasing your abundance. Okay. So yeah, that's what makes you beautiful. Your willingness to share your resources with others. Like you will work very well like at a homeless center, at a food bank, or anywhere where people are trying to get their lives back together. You being so giving, like donating, that really does impact people. And I feel like you would do really good working somewhere like that or just doing something like that. If you don't feel like working in those types of fields or spaces, you will do really good at just donating things because you have so much abundance, and that's going to increase abundance for you as well because you're thankful for it, but also because you're giving it, and what we put out into the universe we get back. Okay, so let's look at some more cards. So I actually made some cards. Let me show y'all. So these are some cards I made, and they're oracle cards. I made these a long time ago, but I never like really used them in a reading. So yeah, we're using them now. I don't know. I just actually like had misplaced them, and then I found them. And I'm like, I should have been using these. So we're gonna start using them. You're gonna see them more. Okay. I don't really have a name for this particular deck. We could just call it the essential oil because it's a lot of essential oils on it. So let's look at these. So look, we have protect your energy, and the oil here is myrrh. So you may like to use frankincense or myrrh, or just you use that type of incense or spray or soap. Take what resonates here. Excuse me. But myrrh is about like protecting yourself from negative energy. So what makes you beautiful is that you protect your energy. Like I said, like you get centered. You protect your energy. You know that there are certain things that are just not worth losing. So you protect your energy, and that's what makes you internally beautiful. The next card that we have is meditate here. And this is literally frankincense. It's weird that frankincense and myrrh came out. I wasn't even looking at the oil on this card. I was just shuffling them, but it's crazy. So it is frankincense. And frankincense and myrrh usually go together. So this is just like amplifying what I said in the beginning about alchemizing energies. You alchemize energies within yourself as well through meditation. Okay. Because you clear out those negative energies. And this is what your energy is like, pal number one. Like if I could say that your energy was like oils, I would say frankincense and myrrh. Okay. The next one that we have is beauty. So this is just showing you are internally beautiful. You do have internal beauty. Okay. This is grapeseed oil. So you may use grapeseed oil, or you like grape flavored things, or grape is one of your favorite fruits here. Take what resonates. But this is just saying that you have that inner beauty. And looking at these colors on the cards too, this purple can go for your third eye. So you having spiritual gifts and using them for the right reasons, that's what makes you beautiful here. Okay, you don't even have to be, like I said, spiritual. Like you don't have to believe in spirituality. You could be religious here. You could be Muslim. You could be Christian. You could be Catholic. Take what resonates. But whatever it is, you have spiritual gifts that can help people in your religion if you want to do that. Okay. And then for the people who are spiritual, you have spiritual gifts that can help the spiritual community. Okay. Just take what resonates. The next 3 cards that we have, well, 4 cards that we have are number 1, we have the 5th house. So the 5th house is about creativity. It's also about fun. It's also about romance and making art. So people love to be in love with you, pile number 1, because you are a great lover, okay? Even if you've had people who have done you wrong, they will never be able to forget the things you've done for them because you're very romantic here. You're very sweet. The 5th house is just that sweet energy. It's also ruled by Leo, so some of you could be a Leo here, okay? But also, some of you could have children here, and the way you take care of your children, that's what makes you internally beautiful because you're parenting from a gentle space, and being a gentle parent does not mean you let your kids get away with everything. It's just you know that using force is not the way to teach a child, okay? So yeah, that is what makes you internally beautiful, the art you create. So the poetry, the art, you may actually make art here, okay? But yeah, with Taurus being here, Taurus is ruled by what? Venus. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. So Venus is that planet of beauty. Again, you have beauty plus another beauty card. So you are internally beautiful, okay? Don't doubt that, okay? So what makes you beautiful, internally beautiful, is your beliefs, okay? The beliefs that you have. Also, what makes you internally beautiful is your creativity again, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. That's art. So the art you make, that's reiterated with this Taurus energy. But also your beliefs. Your beliefs could be actually very unique, things that other people don't think of, but they're beautiful and they work for you. And you inspire people to establish certain routines and beliefs that elevate their life. So you definitely are giving life coach therapist vibes here, because every you may resonate with other readings I have. So if you're from those other piles, then this is just all confirmation for you, okay? But yeah, the next card that we have is change and healing, and we have another lion here. And then the light. Do you see that? So you definitely are a Leo or a fire sign here, okay? Take what resonates. Got a lot of fire energy. But yeah, this card says change and healing. So it's the way that your ability to heal. That is what makes you internally beautiful, but also the way you can change things. The way you can change things through talking about it, the way you can change things through healing. Okay. And And also with this change, you don't have to always change things through speaking. Like you're very good at visualizing things here. You may shift things, you may manifest through making art, okay? Because it's very unique, pound number one. Like you may manifest things through art, or you may make something and it's going to manifest through your art. So you may like to make vision boards here, or you may like to write down your goals, like any type of, and you write down your goals in an artistic way, okay? I don't really get that you write your goals down on a piece of paper. Like, okay, that like you may be the type of person that's very visual here. So you add stickers to it. You cut out things in a magazine. Like you're so creative. Okay. Very creative here. And that is what makes you internally beautiful, because that's how you shift things, not just with your voice, but with how you bring you goodness, getting tongue twisted. You may get tongue twisted a lot, pal number one, but or people may I feel like people may feel like this about you. Just take what resonates, but it's like I don't want to say artitize because I make up words, but it's like, you know how somebody says you dramatize? I feel like you artitize, okay? You artitize the things that you want in life. Like you make art out of it, okay? And you also turn your pain into art here. And that is what makes you internally beautiful. The last card that we have is sacred union, okay? So the way that you connect with other people, whether you're in a relationship with them romantically or platonically, or whether this is family, like it's just the love you give that makes you internally beautiful. You know how to be a good partner. You know how to be a good family member. You know how to be a good friend, okay? You know how to be a good employee. You bring love everywhere you go, pile number one, and that is what makes you internally beautiful. So thank you for coming to this reading, pile number one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I love to see the comments. If you're a little bit shy, it's okay. Take your time. But I really love seeing how it resonated and what you resonated with. But thank you, pile number one. We're going to move on to my lovely pile number twos. Okay, pile number two. Let's see. What makes you internally beautiful is your ability to channel and use the arts, writing, acting, music, etc. Your ability to remain kind to others even when other people are cruel to you. Your ability to honor and connect with Mother Nature. Your ability to be patient, attentive, and a great listener. And your ability to let your emotions flow. Okay, so let's get started with these cards. All right. So pile number two, hold on. So the first card that came out for you was the death card, okay? And please don't get alarmed by this. This is not actually meaning you're gonna die, because a lot of people, when I've done personal readings, people get freaked out, but that's not what this is about, okay? This is about transforming, okay? What makes you internally beautiful, pile number two, is how you transform, how you learn through your darkest moments, okay? One thing that I've realized though is the more that you conquer your fears and your darkness, the less you are afraid of the dark. Because the dark like symbolizes like what we're afraid of, what we don't want to see. And path number two, you could have been afraid of the dark, right? And a lot of people think that that's just something that children have, but adults can be afraid of the dark as well. And you may have been afraid of that because symbolically it represented you not wanting to see your own darkness. But the more comfortable you are with your darkness, the more you can withstand darkness. Okay. I just had to say that for some reason, because some of you may used to be scared of that, or some of you here, like I feel like you have like you're highly sensitive and you pick up on presences and spirits. So you could have been scared to be in the dark because of what you felt. But the more that you conquer those fears within yourself, the more that the darkness is less intimidating. So you may find yourself being in the dark more, like just in your room chilling with the lights off, where you usually would have a night light or a lamp on. So take what resonates here, okay? So the next card that we have here is the Two of Swords. So what makes you internally beautiful is the decisions that you make for your life. Like you make decisions that other people wouldn't want to make. And these are decisions that involve letting go of other people. Like pile number two, you don't have a problem cutting people off. You don't have a problem removing yourself with this Queen of Swords energy. I was waiting to bring that out. But you know how to just it's over with. And that's an admirable, I always get tongue twisted with words. Admirable. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. Admirable. That's an admirable trait you have. Okay, pile number two, like you know how to cut people off. It doesn't matter how long you've known this person. It doesn't matter if it's a family member, a friend, an ex. Like you cut people off when they're getting toxic to your life, when they're starting to impact your well-being. When people start to make you feel bad about yourself, you leave the relationship. And I'm the same way, because no, you're not going to make me feel less of myself just to feel good about who you are. No. So you definitely have cut people off and set boundaries. And that's what makes you internally beautiful. Pile number two, because you've gained a lot of respect. You've gained a lot of respect. I feel like you were never confrontational, but over time, you've learned that it's okay to be confrontational. It's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna get violent, but I can go to war for my peace. Okay. And that's the type of person you've become, pile number two, because I feel like you used to be very easygoing. You used to let a lot slide, but you're not that person anymore. You call shit out, you cut people off, you make hard decisions, but you know that it's going to make your life better by not having certain people around, because sometimes certain people can resent you. They can resent the good qualities about you. They can resent your success. And then having those types of people in your energy can throw off your vibration. Okay. You can attract weird things because you're around weird people and not the good weird. Okay. But yeah, that's what makes you internally beautiful, is your ability to protect yourself. Because I feel like pile number two, you used to always be the type that'll go hard for other people, but now you go hard for yourself. You know that anything that costs you your peace is too damn expensive. It's not a price you're willing to pay. So you cut people off and you continue to slay, all right? Okay, pound number 2. I feel like you may freestyle a lot here. You may write poetry like pound number 1 here, or you just may like to write out your feelings. So take what resonates here. I also feel like you're very theatrical, pound number 2. That's why I channeled that you may be really good at like acting or music, but whatever it is you're gonna do, it's gonna be super, super unique. I feel like you have certain ideas that nobody has ever thought of, and because of that, you may hold back on that, but no, bring that out. The world needs more creativity, and I say this because look at the film industry right now. This is just the critique I have. I see a lot of the same movies being remade, a lot of the same movies being remade because people aren't coming up with new things. So pound number 2, you could be introduce that. You could be a film producer here, okay, or a playwright. You may like to write plays, but the world needs new creative ideas and thoughts. So don't be afraid to put that out there. If you have an idea for a show, put that out there because pound number 2, you give off a Jordan Peele vibe. Like, I'm not saying that's your personality. I'm saying like when it comes to your creativity, like you may like to make like weird things like that, like the Twilight Zone, like stuff that's really like odd, but it's also very like intriguing. Like, because, for example, Lovecraft Country. Okay, you may have watched that, or you may need to watch that. But I just get this energy, like You're magical. Bio number 2, you're magical, but you can channel creative ideas, like how Jordan Peele channeled Nope and Get Out. And even though it was kind of weird, it still had a message in it, right? It may be, and I say it's weird in a different context, okay? I'm saying it's weird in a way where we never thought about that before. No one ever thought of that. So you have these creative ideas that you can bring out pound number 2 because that's what makes you internally beautiful. The fact that you hold those types of ideas, because a lot of people can't think of things like that, but you do it so naturally. You do it so effortlessly. Okay. So let's see. What makes my pile number 2s internally beautiful? So the next cards we're gonna go to are these. Okay, because I have them organized. So the next card that you have is Uranus. So this goes with me saying that you're very unique. So what makes you internally beautiful is your uniqueness in terms of your artistic talents. So you could be like Octavia Butler and want to be an author and write something like futuristic type of sci-fi with a little bit of fantasy. Like you're really good at that. And I think that you should hone in on those gifts, okay? All right. The next card that we have is Neptune. So you would do really good in music or something that deals with illusion, like I'm talking about, like sci-fi and fantasy. Like you would really excel in those types of fields, pound number 2. But what makes you internally beautiful is the way you create these worlds for yourself. Like I feel like you naturally escape here. You could be a Pisces. And I'm not just saying that because we have Neptune here, but I just feel like you find creative escaping outlets, and these outlets don't harm you and they don't harm other people, but it's like you escape through it. So you may escape through listening to music, you may escape through watching your favorite show or a good movie, but it's a beautiful space you have created for yourself, okay? And it's not even a space you have to go to, it's just a space you've created within. That is what makes you internally beautiful, because you're tapping within, you're connecting with yourself here, okay? And I feel like you tap into your inner child too. Like things that you loved as a child, I feel like you still love it now. But that's what makes you internally beautiful. It's the fact that you can create these spaces for yourself where you can go to them and you don't even have to be in that space. You could just go there mentally, okay? And that's what makes you internally beautiful, because those spaces that you go to, they help you see things from different perspectives. So you come back with very unique perspectives after watching a certain movie, after reading a certain book, because you give off these vibes, okay, that you would do really good in the film industry, you would do really good in the writing industry, the acting, or the music, anything that has to do with something creative, something with writing. Like that's you, pound number 2, okay? The next card we have is Aries. Okay, so you are very motivated. You're very determined. You have a lot of spunk. Okay, and that is what makes you internally beautiful, because you are motivated constantly, and it inspires other people to get that motivated as well. But also, Aries is the first zodiac sign, so this I feel like talks about you being the first to do something. like I was saying. So you may have these creative ideas that are a little bit unique, never heard of, but it doesn't mean that people won't like it. Okay? Understand that. But yeah. I feel like you're gonna be the first to do something, the first to create something here. You could be the first in your family to have these types of ideas, which is why you may not have put them out, because people may have criticized you and said that they were weird. But I'm also picking up on a specific message. Okay, so if you're in the Black community, if you are a Black woman, a Black trans woman, a Black man, a Black trans man, or you're a Black non-binary person, you may have grown up in an environment where people made you feel like you're not Black enough because you don't do this and you don't do that. Like, you kind of give off this energy, pound number two, of like Childish Gambino. Like, you are unique, you're eccentric, and you're different from people in your community, but it's not a bad thing. So I just felt like I needed to say that for somebody here. If you are experiencing that, or you have experienced that in your past, just know that you are beautiful, and it's okay to be different. It's okay to be step away from cultural norms, especially when you don't align with that. Okay. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying like step away from your Blackness. There's just certain things. If you are Black, you know what I'm talking about, in the Black community, like, people make me feel like that too. Like, oh, you're not loud. Oh, you must think you're better than us. Like, stuff like that. Like, if you're not falling in line with certain stereotypes. Let me use that word, because being loud is a stereotype of people of color. So I've found within my own experiences that when you don't adhere to a stereotype, when you don't perform that, people will try to tell you that you're acting white or you're not Black enough. So that's why I said that here. And the same thing could go for a person of a different race. Maybe you do things different from your culture. Maybe you do things different from what's already been done in the past. But I'm just here to say that it's okay to be on your own path. You're still who you are, because who you are has nothing to do with your race. It's about what's on the inside, okay? So let's move on to the other cards. So the next card that we have is Neptune again. Neptune again. Okay? So you're very, very creative. You're creative AF. And I feel like you would write a really good show. That's the vibe I keep getting. And this is not supposed to be a reading about talents, but what's coming through power number two is your talents. They are what make you beautiful. Okay. The next card that we have is called the third house. So the third house is ruled by Gemini, and that deals with communication here. So in writing, you see how there's some writing here? So you would excel in writing. And also, what makes you beautiful internally is the way you write, the way you speak here. I feel like you speak with a lot of passion. You're very eloquent when you speak, very animated. That's why I said theatrical, okay? But yeah, that is what makes you eternally beautiful. Pile number two, your ideas as well, your creative ideas. Okay, so let's move on. So the next card that we have is the water spirit. So what makes you beautiful is your ability to let your emotions flow. You know that emotions are temporary and they're going to pass, and you've learned to master the art, or you're learning to master the art of observing your emotions, but not attaching yourself to that, not identifying with that, okay? Just allowing them to flow, okay? And by doing this, you allow ideas to flow to you. You allow creative things to flow to you, not just, you know, your emotions, just other things. You start to go with the flow more in life, and you find that things align with you, okay? That's what makes you internally beautiful. Your ability to be vulnerable, okay? The next card we have is Miracle Creation, and it's number one. So you're very creative. And the number one is about new beginnings. So it's like you can bring forth creations new. And literally, didn't we say that Aries is the first zodiac sign? And it's literally saying number one. So you're going to be the first to do something, or you may already be in the process of doing that, okay? So don't give up on that pound number two. Your messages are a lot deeper than pound number one, but I feel like there are certain things that need to be said, okay? So yeah, what else do I want to say? Also, you may need to do a sacral chakra meditation, okay? Because this color is like orange, that's the color of the sacral chakra. That can help you really well, especially in terms of letting your emotions flow, because that is where a lot of our emotions are stored, especially if you are a woman here. You see a lot of that in the womb. That's where our emotions are. And if you are a man or you identify as male, your emotions are still there in the sacral chakra, even if you don't have a womb. Okay. So I feel like you should do that to clear out energy, because this reading is just very deep. I just get like you're a very deep person though. You have a lot of depth to you, hence this water being here. You have a lot of depth to you. I feel like you just have a lot of what is that word? I don't know if it's untapped potential, but it's like that. Like you have dreams that you just kind of put on the back burner. I feel like you need to get them off and look at your creativeness, because you have a gift. Your creativity is your gift pattern number two, and that's what makes you internally beautiful. Okay. The next cards that we have are confidence. So the confidence that you have developed is very beautiful. Even though you may get other people trying to make you feel like you're cocky or you're too full of yourself, no, you have learned to love yourself. You have learned your worth and your value. That's why you don't play about who's in your life, okay? And that's nothing to feel ashamed of. Your confidence is nothing to feel ashamed of here. So your confidence is what makes you internally beautiful, okay? Because you're honoring yourself. You're loving yourself, okay? The next card that we have is nature. So you may be very into nature. You may be kind of like a hippie here. You may like bohemian style. You may like to eat plant-based foods like pile number one, but you're very much like in your healthy era. Let's say that you've been trying to diet, or you've been trying to work out and work on yourself. Keep doing that. Keep being healthy, because it's really going to help you. It's gonna help you grow, but it's also gonna just help you just be more in tune with your body. Like, I can't stress this enough. When you're putting good foods in your body, clean foods in your body, you feel so much better. And I'm not biased about certain foods, okay? Because I was vegetarian for 4 years, about 4 to 5, and then I stopped and I started to eat a little bit of meat. And I can still have meat in my diet, but primarily I keep a vegetarian diet. Like I prefer to eat plant-based, but I can eat a little meat if it counts. Like if there's nothing else, or if I don't have any other option, I do that. And I feel like you are like that, pal number two. You may not be all the way plant-based, but you may have a variation in your diet. Because I feel like a lot of people think like it's easy to just have this one strict diet, but I feel like it can vary. But I feel like you're very healthy here. And not just healthy in terms of your health, like you're healthy emotionally, you're healthy spiritually and mentally and physically. And if you don't feel like you're healthy in those areas, you still are. I feel like you're just very hard on yourself, pal number two. But yeah, you're very healthy here, and that's what makes you internally beautiful, because when you eat healthy, you're healing your body. The way you heal yourself, I feel like you heal yourself and you don't even realize it, but you have been pound number two. And that is what makes you internally beautiful, okay? But yeah, continue to take care of yourself, add some vitamins into your diet. You can have variations in your diet. So if you're vegan, but you also want to have a little bit of vegetarian food like eggs and yogurt, you can do that. Okay. If you're vegetarian and you want to have a little bit of meat, you can do that. If you're pescatarian and you want to have a little bit of vegan, you can switch your diets up. It doesn't have to be one strict thing. Like that's what I learned being vegetarian. Like I don't have to be strictly that. It doesn't mean that I'm not a vegetarian. I feel like people are like, no, you have to eat this if you say you're that. No, you can change your diet, you can combine it, you can mix it, whatever, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're still taking care of you. The next card that we have is ultimate potential. And I literally was just saying untapped potential. So pile number two, what makes you internally beautiful is the potential. You have so much within you that you hold back and you don't even realize it. You have a lot within you. And also we talked about music here. You see this person wearing headphones. So you may really love like wearing headphones here, listening to music, but when you live a life of your fullest potential, that is going to lead you down the path that you need to be on, okay? But yeah, pile number 2, that's what makes you beautiful. The fact that you have so many gifts inside of you, and your gifts are going to make room for you, okay? That's what makes you internally beautiful because you were blessed with those gifts. But you have to be courageous enough to bring those gifts out so that you can receive more blessings, because that's really what spirit wants you to do. Show those gifts to the world, okay? So the next 3 cards that we have are number 1, forgiveness. What makes you internally beautiful? Pile number 2 is the way you forgive. I feel like once you've dealt with the situation long enough, once you've talked about it, you know how to let people go lovingly. And I think that's something that people are like, "What? Like, this person is not talking bad about me on social media. They're not telling my personal business." No, like when you let somebody go and you forgive them, it's done. You don't egg the situation on or you go back and forth, it's done. And I feel like people just don't know what to do. And the word I'm hearing is enamored. So people are enamored by that. Your ability to cut them off respectfully and peacefully and go on about your day, okay? But also the way you forgive yourself, that's what makes you internally beautiful, because the more that you can forgive yourself, the more that you can forgive other people, because we have to understand that we are human, okay? We are all human. And sometimes some people are operating in their darkness and they don't even realize it. But we can forgive them because we know there's times where we've operated in our darkness and didn't realize it, okay? So that is what makes you beautiful internally. The next we have is diligence. So the way that you take your time with things, the way that you take your time with your art, the way that you take your time expressing your emotions or exploring your emotions here. You have a lot of patience. Yeah, that's what makes you internally beautiful, your ability to be patient, attentive, and a great listener. You are a great listener, okay? You're very attentive, you pay attention to details, which makes you a detail oriented person. And you're also very patient. You could be a Capricorn here, okay? Just because you know that stability takes time to build. You know that anything takes time to build, but it has to be on a foundation. So you're very patient about the things that grow in your life. You're very patient about the things that you create here, and that's a beautiful quality. And don't let people rush you, pound number 2. Just because other people may be going for certain things, it doesn't mean you need to rush yourself. When you feel called to do something, do it, but don't do it because other people are doing it. Do it because you want to. Do it because that's what your soul is telling you to do, okay? The last card that we have here, wait, this is not the last card that we have. I still have these. So the next card that we have is new beginning. So what makes you internally beautiful is the way you create new. This is just letting me know that there's something you're doing, pal number 2, that is totally new, that nobody has ever heard of, that needs to be put out into the universe, okay? Because it's beautiful. You have new beginnings. You have new beginnings. You have Aries and you have the number 1. The number 1 is about new beginnings. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac, right? So you are very unique and you need to honor that about yourself, because that is what makes you eternally beautiful, your rarity, your uniqueness, okay? So the next card that we have is be kind. So like I said before, your ability to remain kind to others, even when people are cruel to you, and it says vanilla. So you may like vanilla, you may like to smell like vanilla here, but that's the oil. And you're very kind, and your kindness is not something that is fabricated. It's not something that you just do to make people like you. It's just naturally who you are, okay? That's why, people try to play with your kindness and you cut their asses off, and then they realize that you really are a kind person. I feel like sometimes some people can come into a kind person's life hoping to find a flaw, and then they end up sabotaging the connection because you were a kind person. They end up sabotaging it. And then after you cut them off and distance yourself peacefully, they realize, like, wow, this person really was a good person. But sometimes people can be so suspicious of you because it's really them. Okay. So that's the message for you too, pal number 2. All right. The next card that we have is make love, not war. So there's some rose petals here. So you may really like roses or resonate with that. But you make love, not war. You can go to war for your peace, yeah, but you prefer to bring love. You prefer to be a loving person. And that is what makes you internally beautiful, is that you can go to war, but you rather not. You rather not. You rather make love, okay? In all forms, all right? And then the last card that we have is detox your spirit. And then this oil is tea tree. So you may really like tea tree oil here. Take what resonates. But with the detox your spirit, like what makes you internally beautiful is that you do detox your spirit. Okay. This is reminding me of this nature card. So your health, you're big on mental health, you're big on physical health, but you're also big on what you put into your body here, okay? You detox your spirit, but you don't just detox your spirit with food. You detox your spirit by letting go of clutter, cleaning up, blocking people, deleting people, cutting people off, deleting texts out your phone, pictures, all of that. Like you literally detox so much. You detox your social medias, your phone, your body, your hair, your skin. Like you detox a lot of it. And in doing so, you're removing stagnant energies, thus increasing your internal beauty. Okay. Because the more beautiful you become on the inside, the more beautiful you become on the outside. Okay. So, pile number two, continue to do the work of detoxing, continue to do the work of letting go of what no longer serves you. Okay. Continue to detox because that's going to keep you beautiful. When you have a lot of negative energy stored up, you're not going to feel beautiful. Okay. But whenever you take care of yourself and whenever you let go of what weighs you down, that will make you beautiful. That's why you see posts like people saying, every time I heal, I get prettier and prettier. And that's very true. Or you'll see people, like, for example, celebrities that are in their 40s and 50s, damn near 60s, and they still look so beautiful. They still look so youthful. That's because it's coming from the inside. They're internally beautiful. Okay. So continue to work on yourself, pound number two, because you're doing a great job. All right. Put your creative ideas out there. Okay. Allow yourself to shine. All right. Thank you. So that was your reading, pound number two. Please like, comment, and subscribe and let me know how you feel. And as I mentioned earlier, like if you are in the Black community and you've just gone through people making you feel like you're not Black enough, comment down below what that experience is like because I have been through that. So that's why I mentioned that, okay? But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Peace. And also, I want to say, like, when I do peace, I'll do this or this. Both of them mean that, but I just like to do this or this. So you'll see that. Anyways, peace.